Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, Haslab's Victory Saber is nearly funded, with new markets getting access to the project. Dr. Wu shows off their super adorable, super-deformed Trypticon, and Fans Toys finally reveals their long-anticipated masterpiece Cerebros figure. Today is Wednesday, September 29th, 2021, and this is episode 453 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that asks if anyone tries to sell you a fake pre-recorded copy of Transmissions so you can avoid the new podcast mandate, you should report them. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Fantastic fan artist Apollo, aka Robo Apollo.
What's up, everyone?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
All right. Jeremy is on assignment, so he won't be joining us this week, but I'm sure we'll get him back next week. Hopefully. But as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to support the show. We really appreciate it. And thank you for, helping us keep the lights on. So if you are not a Donatron and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up. One of the perks of being a Donatron is that you are always automatically entered into our monthly Toy Hacks $10 gift code drawing. So at the end of every month, we draw for a lucky listener to win a $10 gift code from toyhacks.com, where they can go buy stickers, sheets, some upgrade kits, lots of cool stuff that Toy Hacks has. Those label sheets are pretty cool. They make labels for almost every figure you can think of, and they're always developing and designing new ones. And Daryl talked a lot about them last week. So they've got lots of new sticker sets out for all your War for Cybertron toys. So check that out. And we will have our next drawing for September coming next week. So if you are not a Donatron yet and you want to become one, just go and sign up, and you have until this Sunday, October 3rd, to make it into the drawing. Of course, if you don't have to become a Donatron. If you still want to enter the contest, you can just send an email to contest@transmissionspodcast.com and indicate that you are entering the September Toy Hacks drawing, and then send us a picture of one of the Transformers you'd like to get stickers for. So just a little bit of work, but I think it's worth it for a chance to enter. So everyone check that out. So you've got a little bit less than a week before this month's contest closes. So, all right. And this week we also have the next episode of Empire of Rust. This was episode 59, Keeping Pace with the Pythagoreans. And this just came out on Monday, September 27th. So you should already have it available in your podcast feed if you're listening to the main Transmissions feed. If not, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/rust, and that's where you'll get all the Empire of Rust episodes. Again, this is starting off season 2. So this is part 2 of the season 2 opening show. So, you still have time to get in on the ground floor and jump right in to the new season of Empire of Rust, our Transformers live play RPG podcast. Now, let's jump right into some toy news.
And we're going to start off this week by just updating everybody on the Haslab Victory Saber project. Monday, it didn't take long, but they hit the 75% funded for the project, and that was last Monday, which was surpassed really quickly, because currently, as we record this, We are well past that. I don't know a full percentage as to what we are at right now, but we are currently sitting at 9,420 backers out of the target of 11,000, with still 14 days, 2 hours, and 9 minutes left. Like, we're doing quite well. There's still a lot of, other territories to be added into this, I believe. And that's what I'm going to swing right into here. Haslab has opened it up for pre-orders in Taiwan, which is another area that's probably more familiar with Victory Saber than any of these other North American ones that we've come to learn. Taiwan also follows France, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, Spain, Ireland, and Germany as international orders for Haslab. So that's pretty cool that they've opened it up for all these other areas. Taiwan, I feel, was probably a no-brainer, and why they're waiting so long to kind of let them in on it. But at least they're in. That's good. They're in on the project. And lastly, this week we Haslab released color renders of what the Victory Saber project is going to look like when it's all said and done. So these are still just renders, but we got some really great pictures of what Victory Saber is going to look like in full color, which is nice to see. It's always, we've been able to imagine it, but it's nice to see what the colors that they are planning to work with on this project as well. So yeah. Did any of this help you change your mind and get on the old bandwagon there, Charles?
Not yet, but there's still time. I'll probably will back it eventually, but I have not pulled the trigger yet. Also, by the way, the number is now just under 86% funded.
Oh, you did the math. Gotcha.
Where doing the math is pulling up the calculator app on my computer.
Well, thank you for that, Mr. Wizard. So that's really good. Charles is obviously just going to wait until this is a done deal. He does not like to support projects that are still in progress, but Apollo, what are your thoughts on this as the color renders get you a little bit more excited? How are you feeling about this project so far?
Oh, well, I backed it, but I am very excited about it, and I thought it was really interesting, that live stream that happened with Vegeta's voice actor from Dragon Ball Z promoting it. I thought that was pretty cool, and his stream was where the colored renders were revealed, and I thought that was really awesome.
Right on. So we will continue to follow this, and hopefully this next week that we're in right now will prove to be one that kind of puts us over the edge. But you never know. We want to make it to 14 to at least get the big ass gun. The 17, I think it was, for the stand. That's cool too. These are both visible in the images that they put out recently. So take a look at those. But we'll keep following this and let you know how it goes. On to my actual topic this week. I wanted to mention that something that we had discussed a number of years ago, because it just got dropped on us like a nuclear bomb at a TFCon, was the Fans Toys Fortress Maximus, and we just kind of speculated that this is almost a joke, that it's not going to happen. Well, this week, Fans Toys released images and, price points, and sites are taking pre-orders for the FT-40A Hannibal, which is the Cerebros component of this Fortress Maximus figure. It's beginning. This Cerebros by itself is 24 centimeters tall. That's 9.45 inches for you Neanderthals. It is going to be released, or expected to be released, in the second quarter of 2022. Pre-orders on TF Source, BBTS, and the Chosen Prime already sold out. The pre-order price was $229.99. And just to remind you,
just for Cerebro,
just for Cerebros. Yes.
Yikes. Okay.
So the rest of Fort Max, and this is to remind you all because we did discuss it when it first was revealed, but that was a number of years ago. The rest of Fort Max, if it's completed, because it is still pending, but if it's completed, will stand 120 centimeters tall or 47.24 inches. To put that in perspective, I took out my tape measure, and as I sit here in my computer chair, that's my eye level. From the floor to my eye, that's approximately my eye level. So take it with what you will. 120 centimeters, 42.27 inches. That is massive. It is enormous. So whether they get to that point or not, that's still to be said, but they have started that project. The Cerebros component is, being, is begun. The pre-orders are being taken. Taking a look at the actual figure, it looks, these aren't CGI models anymore. These are, pictures of a figure. We're seeing Cerebros with his sword. We're seeing him getting a base because he turns into a head with no body right now. So he has this base. The base can hold the sword that he can pull out of like a sword in the stone kind of a deal. It's I don't know if this is something from the show. My knowledge of the Japanese show is quite limited. I really should sit down and watch it. It's it looks pretty good. This stand kind of looks like a space bridge, but it's pretty good looking stuff. And yeah, it's all to kind of hold Cerebros in the Fortress Maximus head mode. But yeah, it's a massive figure. Now that is all kind of in keeping with the Fans Toys Headmasters so far. They've all been very, very large. But I'm going to start with Apollo. Apollo, what do you think of this and just the Cerebros by itself? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think this is really cool, but it's going to be huge. I think I saw a few photoshopped comparison pictures of the size of the completed figure. Like Unicron, I think goes up to its waist or something like ridiculous like that. I think the head by itself's cool, because it's, it turns into it's a normal masterpiece scale figure, and then it turns into this head that you can display. But I'm just wondering if the body parts for this are going to be sold in like separate pieces, are they going to put pre-orders up for an arm because, like for each of the arms and then the torso and whatnot, because this is going to be really expensive. I think his head looks really cool, just when it's transformed in the head mode. And I think it's funny that there's a sword I just think of him like stabbing with his head, into things. But yeah, this is out of my price point. Like I'm thinking this figure is going to cost thousands of dollars by the time you're finished buying all the different pieces. And I don't have a lot of space in my apartment, so I'm going to have to pass on getting this. But I think this is really cool for people who are fans of the character.
Right on. And to answer your first question, Fans Toys has in the past broken figures up into two components. They did their Omega Supreme in two components, and they did maybe that's the only one they did. But anyway, yeah, so they've done it in the past. Whether we'd see an arm come by itself, I don't know, but I definitely would think we'd see a top half and a bottom half come by themselves. Still, those are humongous components. But yeah, so there's no real news or any information on what's going to be done with the Fortress Maximus body, but I would imagine it would come in chunks. Yeah, I would just hope that the people that have started the process by at least ordering, this Cerebros component, kind of get included or get first dibs on, the rest of it. Because I'd hate to be the guy waiting for, say, a leg and not be able to get one. because somebody else ordered a leg and to replace busted something or other. And, that would really drive me nuts. So, but yeah, so this is kind of interesting for that particular reason. Charles, what about you? We know you like, big head. I think I Skyped out a bit there. It's big heads.
No, yeah. You Skyped out. Yeah. This is, it's cool. It looks really nice. Although I shudder if the head is $200. Can we say like the head of Fortress Maximus is what, maybe 10% of the figure? So does that mean the rest of the figure is like $1,800? I don't know. And yeah, I wonder how they're going to break it up. You get the torso and the legs or something, or some other way. I don't know. But I guess if the head right, Transformers fans are there every night. So there you go.
Thanks, Weezy.
I like the little stand, the little base for the head. I guess it's nice if you just want, like, if you are trying to, like, hedging your bet, like if you think you really aren't sure this whole figure is going to actually be produced, you still have a nice little stand for your Fortress Maximus head, and the Cerebros figure is nicely articulated and looks cool and does very much evoke the animation model. So it's still on its own a good figure, but yeah, I would not hold my breath for the full Fortress Maximus figure.
Well, that was going to be my kind of follow-up question. Are we in actual kind of in the fandom and in an agreement that this full Fortress Maximus is going to actually exist at one point? Or is this is it? Like, yeah, they've thrown the A, behind this to say this is part A of the, the Fortress Maximus, but, they've kind of completed or are in process of completing the, their Headmasters figures. And this is all in keeping with all of that, their Headmasters look great and they work well. And yeah, Cerebros turns into Fortress Maximus head. That's his alt mode. So they've satisfied part of their goal here. If they don't want to finish the rest of Fortress Maximus, I personally wouldn't hold it against them. That's a lot of commitment, right? That's a big undertaking, right? Mm-hmm. And I cannot imagine there being that many people that can shell out that kind of cash as well as have that kind of space. And with fans toys, and I don't know if this is going to be true with this particular project, but generally people who buy fans toys buy multiples because they know that they go up in the secondary market. Now, I don't understand how something like this can go further up, but what kind of person, is buying something like this after it's already gone up? I don't know. Still have a lot of questions about the end result, the final, Fortress Maximus. But I'm willing to wait and see, and I've not really invested any money into their Headmaster figures, so I can sit back and watch this all play out and not really worry anything about it. So it'll be interesting to kind of see. I'll just leave it at that, and we'll go from there. Apollo, what do you got for us this week?
All right. Well, I've got news on the Transformers Kingdom Wave 4 Deluxe Waspinator and Shadow Panther, which is out in US retail. So I'm a Beast Wars girl, so I really like Beast Wars. I grew up watching it. This was brought to our attention from TFW 2005, Panda Strong. They found photographic proof of his sighting of these figures, and they were spotted at a Walmart in Dallas, Texas. So that's really interesting. So it's time to go look at the stores for these figures if you want them. I want a Waspinator for sure. I remembered really liking him when I watched Beast Wars originally, so they both look really lovely. So if you're a Beast Wars fan, I suggest you pick these up. And I think I'm going to have to start going into Walmarts now looking for these figures. Charles, what do you think of these figures?
I like Waspinator from the original Beast Wars cartoon, so he was a fun character, and glad to see him represented in the new Kingdom line. That was one of the omissions from the Kingdom show was that they didn't have Waspinator, and we did ask about that, but I think at the time they didn't have his toy ready or didn't indicate that he was going to be a prominent toy to, like, Hasbro didn't indicate that to the team making the show, so he got kind of left out. I also think he's primarily comic relief, so maybe he wouldn't have fit the tone of Kingdom too well, since Waspinator is just there to be laughed at and blown apart. So I guess that it's fine to see I guess skip over him in the show, but yeah, I mean it's good to see him represented in the toys, and yeah, I'm sure Waspinator fans will be happy. Shadow Panther is not really he's just a Cheetor repaint, so right, so I mean he wasn't in the show, and this is not the Ravage, the Ravage Predacon that was in the show that is getting a San Diego Comic-Con figure release. So, I mean, I guess it's fine as a Cheetor repaint, a black Cheetor repaint, but I don't really have any interest in that. But, still looks cool.
Thanks for sharing thoughts on those figures. Daryl, what do you think of them?
Well, so far I have been avoiding the Kingdom figures, the new Kingdom Beast Wars figures, except for the Megatron and the Primal. The Waspinator, I have an original Waspinator and the most recent Waspinator from Generations. I have sealed and signed by Scott McNeil, so I'm gonna keep him as my Waspinator. And I have the original Shadow Panther as well, so I don't feel like the need to double up on these figures right now. And like I said, I'm not really into the new stuff, because I've got all these really great original figures. But I'm happy that stuff like Shadow Panther's getting the figure, because I think it's a very rare character to get one anyway. And Waspinator is cool. He's a fun character.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts on those figures. That's all I have to share for this week. Next up is Charles.
All right. Well, just one to check back in on the Transformers G1 chess set Kickstarter. So sadly, that did not get funded. Unfortunately, they were their funding goal was $300,000. They got to about $92,000. So yeah, it looks like the price point was just a little bit too high for Transformers fans. As that chess set was about $600 to $700 for all the pieces, and didn't look like we were able to get enough people to sign up. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully, Hero Collector will still revisit this idea and try to make it happen in some other way, because they are really cool figures. I was lucky enough for them to send me one of the production samples of the Optimus Prime King figure. And yeah, these were really nice, substantial statues that were also a chess set. So I think it was a really cool idea. It's unfortunate that it didn't get funded, but yeah, I mean that price point was a bit hard to overcome, unfortunately. So that's sad. Paula, did we ever talk to you about the chess set? Did you have any interest in that when that came out?
I liked it, but it was just too expensive in my opinion. Like, if maybe it was like $300, I would have backed it, but maybe they'd give me a reason to learn how to play chess, because I actually don't know how to play chess. Yeah, I just think it is too expensive for most people. $600 is a lot to ask. I mean, we saw what happened with the Unicron funding when that Hasbro tried to do. So for a chess set with non-transforming Transformers, I mean, that's a lot to ask, you know. But yeah, so I wasn't gonna back it at $600, but if it had been 300, or if they would have given you the option to buy the individual pieces, I would have bought, like, for sure a Starscream piece. But yeah, so I'm sad it didn't get funded though, just because, you know, that's a failed Transformer project. But maybe they'll do another version that's cheaper and more people can access it and buy it.
Yeah, let's hope. We'll keep our eye out and see what it see if they come up with another path.
Well, and that chess piece you have now is like super rare. So
Yeah, I guess that's the bright side, but it's still unfortunate for the company. Daryl, did you have any final thoughts on the Kickstarter?
I mean, not really. It's I think we all kind of expected this result. It's unfortunate, but when that Kickstarter opened up and we saw the 300,000 goal, that kind of put the writing on the wall, which is unfortunate. It's that's a spicy meatball right there, and I wonder, I wonder if they just scaled it down. They just scale it down by half. Perhaps it'll work. If you can scale it down by half and the price point comes down by half, then maybe it'll work. But yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough one to swallow at $600 or $700, right? Yeah, it's plus it's huge, right? So it's just one of those things that's it's right before you even go to pay for it. It's already got a couple strikes against it.
Well, we tried to help. I mean, I think they reached out to us to help promote it, and yeah, I mean, we tried to get the word out and get people interested in it. So yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate that we couldn't overcome those difficulties. But yeah, we wish Hero Collector all the best, and hopefully we'll see the project come back in some other form or some other projects that they have working on with maybe some future Transformers themed projects they can do. So all right, well, going on to my toy topic, we have another figure from Dr. Wu, and this is a super-deformed Trypticon, and this is called DW E14 Energy Dragon, and this is just a neat little figure. I like the legend scaled figures, but this is a bit different because it's a kind of a super deformed, cute proportion figure for Trypticon, and I mean, chibi is the Japanese word for it, and he's cute. He also turns in addition to being Trypticon turning into the the city and the T-Rex mode, it also has a cube mode, so it turns into a little cube and then unfolds into its T-Rex mode. It has a little kind of box that it fits in for storage too. So yeah, it's it reminds me a bit of like the Trypticon's T-Rex mode looks at least for this figure, it reminds me a bit of Mechagodzilla. But it's cool that they, in addition to they got it into that cube form factor, but then he transforms into the T-Rex mode, he transforms into the city mode, and the battle station mode, and he's got a little the car accessory, which I guess is that, what was that little car named? Was that
oh man, now you're oh, son of a bitch.
Full Tilt, was that it, or something else?
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Okay. All right.
Good job. You didn't need me.
It doesn't look like Full Tilt transforms, or at least I can't tell from the picture. But yeah, I mean, the Trypticon looks like it's pretty well rendered, and it does, have that super deformed chibi style look. So It reminds me of the other, like there was a line a few years ago that had a bunch of Titan-sized Transformers and rendered in chibi style. It had Omega Supreme and Scorponok and other figures. This reminds me of that. Apollo, what do you think of this super cute Trypticon?
Well, I think he is really cute. And I love that he's got so many different modes he can be in. Like, I don't know why he turns into a cube, but that's cool. Like,
storage.
I guess so. How does it say how big this is? Because I'm looking and I can't see, like, do they have any? Oh, it says no concrete information on size. So, I might actually get this depending on how big it is. Like, if it's not too big, I might get it. So, but I'd like to see, actual color images of it, not just the grayscale ones. But I think he's really cute, and I like how he has all these different modes.
Yeah, I imagine it's not going to be too big, but I'm still having trouble seeing how Trypticon folds up into that cube. Like all his little bits and accessories doesn't seem like, unless they're removable, it doesn't seem like they are all packed into that cube. But I guess, well, when we get the actual figure or get some color renders maybe and in hand images, we can get more detail.
Yeah.
Daryl, what do you think of this figure?
I think it looks great. It it does everything you think you would want it to do with a little tiny Trypticon, and I think it's a wonderful little thing. We don't really have a size, do we? Like how tall and everything, do we?
Nope. No, that's what Apollo was saying. There's no information about that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's from Dr. Wu. I'm just trying to see if there's anything anywhere else. I like it. I think it looks really cool. I don't think I've gone that small with my little legend scale stuff, but I think this is even smaller than that. Dr. Wu. Let me see if I have anything on here. Trying to see if they have any information for this. No. Okay. So that's okay. But I like it. I think it's a fun little thing. There's a lot of stuff turning into cubes right now. Does anybody know what the deal is with this? I mean, there's a whole line of stuff at Toys R Us that's just cube based, kind of things. And I mean, I'm hoping to get a Voltron figure that's all cubes and then they turn into their lions and stuff. I mean, everything's cubes right now. I don't get it. Is it a thing?
Well,
did I miss a memo?
We don't have Toys R Us anymore, so we don't have that phenomenon here. We have the cube phenomenon has not reached the States. At least I haven't seen it.
It's some kind of anime thing. Yeah, I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I just saw these blister packs on the wall with cubes in them. I thought, what the hell is that? But yeah, no, I think it's cool. I don't get the cube alt mode, but whatever, it's fun. And Trypticon's always fun to mess around with.
All right, well, that's all our toy topics, and we will move on to trips to the store. This is where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition on YouTube. But we'll put the audio right here in the show so you can keep listening as we describe all our purchases in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
Okay, so I showed this off already, but since Apollo is here, I'm going to show it again. Apollo sent out some really nice thank you cards for everyone who helped out with Icon Online. So got the thank you card and Icon Online merch. I got a refrigerator magnet, which is on my refrigerator. I snagged it just to show it off on trips to the store, but it's usually sitting on my refrigerator. And an Icon Online decal, or decal, as Daryl would say. So these are cool. Thank you, Apollo, for sending these out.
You're welcome. Thanks for letting me promote the event on your show, or on the show.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see more from Icon Online in 2022. So we're crossing our fingers. We're not, no pressure, but we're crossing our fingers that'll happen. So.
Well, you'll be the first to know.
Right. And so I don't have any new stuff, but I am doing a little bit of a cleanse on my collection, and I'm starting to try and purge some of the items I have, just because I don't have a room like Daryl's where I can display all this. I have some limited space, and I'm already well past the capacity. So I'm trying to unload some things, particularly at TFCon this year. I'm going to try and bring a bunch of stuff to sell off. And one figure that just one figure showing that I am planning to get rid of. This is Titan's Return Quick Switch Autobot 6 Changer. He was in I believe it was Chaos on Velocitron, or that set of 6 figures. So
yeah, I don't really remember.
He is a Titan Master, so his head, he's a leader class Titan Master. His head is a little figure. He is basically the Titan's Return 6-shot mold, recolored and retooled. But yeah, Quick Switch is not a figure that I have a huge connection to, so I'm planning to let him go. Of course, if you listen to Empire of Rust, a Transformers RPG podcast, you will know that Quick Switch, Quick Switch was the season 1 of Empire of Rust. So,
what? Was spoilers? Yeah. I was
Daryl,
just about to listen.
You were never going to listen to it. You were never going to listen. But he figures prominently in the Empire of Rust podcast. He is a major NPC, non-player character for those who are not into tabletop RPGs. So maybe you want to have Quick Switch as you're listening to Empire of Rust and reminiscing on all the good times with Quick Switch. So yeah, so he's up for sale.
On your price tag, put as seen in Empire of Rust.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's what I got this week. We will hand it over to Daryl.
Well, I'm not first, but I'm not last. I've still got a little bit of work to do. I got a couple things that I did buy this week. They're brand new figures, and I'm happy about that. I have DJ Ronan to thank for it, because I've had an ordeal getting this figure, and I pre-ordered it, and somehow my pre-order got lost. It got messed up. The EB games that I pre-ordered it from got shut down because of the COVID, because it was in a mall. They transferred it to another one, and then this one doesn't know where the hell it is. So DJ Ronan found these guys at Toys R Us, fine Canadian chain, and so I just went and bought it there. So I don't care what's going on with EB Games anymore, but I have G2 Ramjet. Ooh. And he looks pretty good. I like him a lot. I have the original G2 Ramjet, so I was really stoked when they put out the pre-orders for this, and really happy that I was able to finally get him, because he is just gorgeous. I love the colors on him. Yeah, so really nice looking figure. You've seen one Seeker, you've seen them all, but I really like the colors on him. They really pop. So this webcam really isn't doing it any justice, but yeah, he looks great. The other one I just picked up because I was at the store at the Toys R Us, and it was sitting there on the shelf, and I thought, I better buy this thing. So this one here is it's a little bigger. I figured I might as well pick it up. Part just fell off. It's a trailer.
Oh.
It has a bunch of stuff in it. I'm just going to put that away, because the main event is the main figure, and this is Commander class Rodamus Prime. And he's pretty dope. I like him a lot. He takes a little bit of figuring to get his his robot mode transformed. There's a pretty significant little backpack going on there, but all in all, he does pretty well. I strapped his sword to his back because it looks good there. The leg transformation, you actually do, you stuff the wheels, the back wheels in there. It does pretty well for itself as far as the transformation goes. There is a matrix in the chest, which I'll open up here and show you. Let's see here. Let's get her open. Maybe I'll open it. There we go. Yeah, so you open it up and there it is. And it's the same matrix, like the same piece of plastic that's been in everything. Yeah, so it comes out and yeah, but it's pretty good. It's it does pretty well. And now
he's hot rod.
Yeah.
He shrunk down. There is a blast effect that can go on the matrix. Yeah, this thing comes with a ton of blast effects, so that's pretty good. You'd think that because it has the trailer has that little drawer on the bottom where you can kind of store everything, but it doesn't actually store everything. So here's the trailer again, and on the back here is this drawer. So you can take it all the way out, and then there's some blast effects there. There's the one for the Matrix, a couple more pieces there. And then slide it back in. There is, you can open it up here, and then there's the cannon inside. It's a fun figure. There's a lot of play value to it, and there's a lot of things that I really haven't done with it yet that I probably still can. The only problem that I have had with it, and I have seen that there is a kind of an issue with Rodamus Prime, is that it doesn't really like to seal on the top. So that seems to be something that people are actively fixing. I'm not sure whether I'm going to pursue fixing it or not, but it is one of those things that you look at and you kind of think, oh shit, I wish it would stay together better, but it just doesn't. So, it is what it is, but it's a fun figure. The robot mode is really great on it, but a trailer is a trailer is a trailer. So, this is just a big plastic box. But anyway, that's it. That's what I got this week.
All right. So we will finish up with Apollo.
All right. So I have 3 things to show this week. I will start with a toy. So I got Studio Series Wreck-Gar. So
nice.
There he is. Cool. He's a really fun figure. I've had been posing him and whatnot today. I just opened him today. I got him a few days ago, thanks to Mike Seibert, as he was able to pre-order him for me because I wasn't around when the pre-orders went up for him. But yeah, he's really cool. He looks like just how he did in the movie, and he's got his wheels, as well. This came with 2 of them. And I think in the movie, he wears them on his arms like this. I should remember since I saw it this morning. Yeah, he's really cool. I'm really liking the studio line for the Transformers, the movie, and I plan on getting all the figures at some point. So that's the first item I want to show today. So the second item was this. It's a button lanyard holder for when you go to conventions. So it's stretchy, and you can put your lanyard on, like if you go, your badge, like if you go TFCon, for example, and then this clips to your clothing or your bag. I got this at Geekcraft Expo, which is a convention in Portland, Oregon, and is like a giant artist alley for just independent small artists. And this was the only Transformers merchandise there was. They had like an Optimus one and an Autobot and a Decepticon, but I didn't see anything else in the convention center that was Transformers related. So the seller of this, they have an Etsy store, and I'm going to bring up the name really quick. They're called, it's Pin a Button on it. and they're on Etsy. So if you want a Transformers themed lanyard holder for TFCon or any other conventions you go to, I checked them out. I think this was $5 too, so the price is super affordable. So, and you're supporting local small artists. So let me see if I can get this a little closer. So there's Starscream.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks. And so the third thing I saw was when I went into my comic book store, and this is kind of big, is this comic box. And I think this is Casey's art. I am not sure though. But I saw this and immediately had to buy it. I recognize Levio's art on the side here. And then I don't know who the top artist is as well, but
EJ Sue.
it is. Okay.
I have that same box. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this was really cool, and it wasn't too expensive. I think it was like $15. So, yeah, so that's my third item for trips to the store. And as Rodamus Prime says, it's the end of the road.
Very cool. And that will do it for this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from our trips to the store, and we will finish up the show with convention news. Okay, just one little bit in convention news. And Daryl, this is up in your neck of the woods. It looks like TFCon Toronto tickets are available. They are online. So this is happening in December of 2021. So Daryl, I'm sure you will be there.
If they don't close Toronto, then I will be there. Yeah. This is a huge bummer. And I mean, I talked about it on Twitter and how, we maybe last weekend we were talking about how I was waiting for the government to kind of talk about whether I could, whether they were going to open the border so I could go to TFCon Baltimore. And the U.S. government has extended the lockdown or the blockade for, non-essential people to go across the U.S. border. So it's free for U.S. people to come our way, but not for us to go your way. So it's kind of a bummer. I could go if I flew. I don't understand it, but that's the way it is. If I wanted to fly, I would have no issue. But if I if I wanted to drive, I am completely blocked out.
Yeah, that's so, it seems so ass backwards to me. I don't understand this, but that's where it is. But yeah, the consolation prize is TFCon Toronto, December 10th through 12th. So the dead of winter, you can go to TFCon Toronto in
that's
sunny Mississauga.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, technically winter hasn't started yet, but it'll still be cold.
Yeah. I probably will not be joining you because, I don't think taking a trip out of town that close to Christmas is in the cards for me. But we will be relying on you as our transmissions correspondent at TFCon.
Well, same as you in Baltimore.
Yeah,
so we'll see how you do, and if I have to hold up, keep us going as correspondence, or if you really drop the ball and then I really don't have to go that far.
No pressure.
That's right.
Apollo, I don't suppose you're going to make it to either of these TFCons this year.
No, I'm not going to be able to go to either of them. I am for sure going to TFCon LA. I am tabling an artist alley.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah.
And hopefully TFCon LA will still happen next March.
I really hope so. Like, going to this convention yesterday was like really nice. I missed conventions, so hopefully these conventions happen.
Well, let's hope California doesn't fall into the ocean or something. It's
the COVID ocean.
Yeah.
And that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. As always, at the end of the show, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. And these are the folks who contribute to our Donatron at the highest level. So these guys are awesome. So thank you again to John 4X Levengood, Dinobot Maximize, and Demon Tech 82 for continuing to to help out the show and make this possible. Again, want to remind you can buy merchandise from our TeePublic store at transmissionspodcast.com/shop, and that's where you can get all our shirts, masks, other merchandise, and of course anything from TeePublic through our link will help out the show. And Apollo, thank you again for joining us this week. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find your stuff online?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RoboApollo, and I post art on there. And then I also just talk Transformers. So give me a follow.
Hey, that's my line.
I know, I'm taking your lines. You've been an influence on me. So anyways, yeah, come and say hi. Or buy art, or both. I have a lot of dog medical bills to pay.
All right. And that will be it for this episode of Transmissions. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages. Let's say go. I guess that's the placeholder for the music, whatever music Jeremy was using, the anime music.
I'm bad. I'm not wearing my Transmissions shirt tonight.
Neither am I.
Okay. I have failed. We have failed the podcast.
I get spit up on most of the day, so I have to remember just before coming down here to change, and I don't.
Okay, we're in this together, Daryl.
I have two for today. I'm gonna hold back.
You're showing restraint.
I have to. I spent too much, so I have to.
Can you give us the full list of things after the show?
I could, but I won't.
Oh, okay. Gosh, what a tease.
I'll tease you with this. I'm not showing off any of that today,
Oh.
but the stuff that I'm holding back will ensure that I am the greatest Beast Wars fan on this podcast.
You're in the number one.
As I fumble with the controls and get us back to the regular window view. Sorry, my computer's being sluggish. There we go. All right. We did it.
I'm not cutting that. This whole week, I've been just fucking
Making it rain.
That's right.
Do 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 do.